It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. It's also live on all our partner stations across the country. The news is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, City 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube. I'm Wilma Obobi Sakoman, and this afternoon I'm here with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Coming up, heavy security presence at Lukula and Mempasam communities in the Savannah region following recent violent attacks there. Meanwhile, flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, expresses disappointment over the clashes there. Also coming up, staff of Ghana Broadcasting Corporation threaten an industrial action over withdrawal of allowances by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Still ahead, pensioner bond holders agree on a 2-week moratorium for government to pay up outstanding coupons. And later, Ghanaian students on scholarships in Russia appeal to government to pay them their stipends, which has been in arrears for over a year.
There is an outstanding debt of over a year that's supposed to be paid to students. We have spoken with our embassy several times, and the efforts the embassy has made to reach out to the secretariat for all this months have put futile.
Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is live on all our affiliate stations. In the Western region, we're on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM, both in Takoradi in the Bono region. You're listening to us on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we're on Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Global 105.1 FM in Ho and Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the northern region, we're on Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In the Upper West, we're on West Link 88.1 FM in Laura. And in the Upper East region, we are on Source 100.1 FM in Boko. In the Northeast, we're on SCAP 101.3 FM in Nangpanduri.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories. Now, we'll go straight to the Savannah region where heavy security presence is at the Lukula and Mempasam communities following a recent violent attack there. We'll go over the phone lines to speak to our Savannah regional correspondent, Richard Fogo, to tell us more on this. Good afternoon, Richard. Many thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, what is the latest on the conflict in Lukula?
The tension, the conflict in Lukula is still not settled. Well, I understand Lukula, there's a bit of calm there, the community deserted, but tension continues to soar here in the Savannah region over this conflict. The youth this morning besieged the palace, the residence, of course, of the Yagbongura to demand that he summons other Gunja chiefs and their warriors to Taboya, where the chief, the paramount chief for the West Bay traditional area resides, to assist them. They say that this morning at about 3 a.m., there was a heavy deployment of police personnel into the community. They arrest any male they see on site, chief, youth. And just a while ago, I spoke to my source who tells me he's into hiding. And several people that have been arrested have been lined up and are lying under the scorching sun. The police are pouring water on them and all that. So Daboya is like a ghost town. And so having received this information trickling in from Daboya, the youth in Damango besieged the palace of the Yagbongura to demand that he does something about the situation to assist the people of Daboya. So as I speak, there are a lot of people, young people, at the palace of the Yagbongura trying to pressurize him to take some action in Daboya.
What's the security situation at the presence of the residence of the overlord?
There is no security personnel there, at least not from the side of government or state. I don't see any uniform security personnel at the palace. Is at the residence. Is there the young people that I see, and of course his personal security, which are usually the local warriors. There's no any uniform police or military personnel that I can see at the palace. Now, whilst the some elders came out to engage the youth and assure them that the Yabungura was going to do something about it. In fact, what he said was that the Yabungura had spoken to the paramount chiefs that are under his control. He mentioned the Boleura, the Quimbiura, the Kusawura, and others that he has called to speak to, and told them to go to their homes and allow the Yabungura to prepare, and that they should return in an hour's time to see the way forward. But my checks are that some people from other places, I heard from Kosovo, for instance, have started movement there. We are hearing that they are asking that they all gather at Daboya, I beg your pardon, Busunu, which leads to Daboya, so that they can all, from across Gonjaland, move to Daboya to assist. They are accusing the police of, being complicit. They don't understand why the police have not moved to the community where the conflict is taking place, as their belief, and have besieged the Daboya township where no conflict is going on to arrest innocent people who are not in the community where the conflict is taking place. Their point is that people who are supposed to be the conflict at Lukula and Mefiasem and not Daboya, which is several kilometers away from the community where the conflict is taking place. But it has to also be stated that the area in question is supposed to be under the jurisdiction of the Wasipewura who resides in Daboya. That is their contention, and so he is the one who was sending the chief there, and all this conflict erupted. So people, his warriors, according to intelligence, moved from Daboya into Lukula to take part in what is going on there. So that may explain why the police are in the Daboya township. But the accusation is that they are arresting any male they see on site.
Now, Richard, could you give us a background to this conflict a bit?
Yes. Yes, it started during the creation of the new regions between Savannah region and then the Northeast region, which were usually not, but then part of the Northern region. At the time it was Northern region, we didn't hear of these conflicts. But when the division came, the residents of Lukula and Mimpiasem, who are mostly Mampusis, were opting to be part of the Northeast region, which the Gonja traditional area did not agree to, because they felt that it was their land and they didn't want it to be part of the Northeast region. So that's where the conflict actually started. And so when it was created, it was actually added to the Savannah region. And so it became an area that's under the control of the Savannah Regional Coordinating Council and the police and so on and so forth. So, but the people kept claiming that they are part of Mamprusi traditional area. And so the conflict was going on in 2019. There were some clashes there where some houses were burnt. But since then, things have been mild and calm in the community until earlier this week, when rumors came that the Waspegura had enskined a chief for Lukula who was preparing to move into Lukula. And that was met with resistance by residents of the communities who believe that they are part of the Mamprusi traditional area. So that is actually the source of the conflict. So yesterday dawn, we heard of the clashes that took place there, leading to the death of one person. and nearly the whole community, especially at least all those who had thatch houses, having the houses spent, and some other, injuries we understand took place and leaving people to desert the community. So the source is actually about whether the communities in question belong to the Gonja traditional area or the Mamprusi traditional area.
Well, Richard, many thanks for that update. That was Citi News' Savannah regional correspondent, Richard Fogok, bringing us up to speed or bringing us development on the recent violent attacks that have been taking place in Lukula and Mempasem communities in the Savannah region.
Still on the conflict, the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has expressed deep regret and disappointment over the recent violent attacks in Mempasem and Lukula communities in the Savannah region. These clashes occurred along a disputed border between the So and Wasipe traditional areas located in the northeast and Savannah regions. The hostilities have arisen from disagreements over traditional jurisdictional matters and have resulted in the destruction of property and loss of lives. Former President John Dramani Mahama, in a statement, acknowledged the distressing impact of these conflicts, recognizing the significant damage caused and lives tragically affected.
Now, away from that, Ghanaian students under government scholarships studying in Russia are appealing to the government to pay them their stipends, which has been in arrears for over a year. The students say the delay in releasing the stipends is stifling their academic performance. Speaking to Citi News, the president of the National Union of Ghana Students in Russia, Derek Yamwa JC, says the delay in payment is also making life very difficult.
There's an outstanding debt of over a year that's supposed to be paid to students. And our issue now has to do with the relationship between students in Russia and then the secretariat who is responsible for the life of students in Russia. The SWIFT system currently doesn't work in Russia, and so bank transfers are impossible. We are not able to access MoneyGram, we are not able to access Western Union, we are not able to access all the popular direct money transfer systems that were available in the past. And so now it becomes challenging to even receive monies from home for feeding. So it is very, 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 very uncomfortable for students. Very uncomfortable for students. And the only support that we need is the monies that are sent by the government to the students to augment their stay here. We have spoken with our embassy several times, and the efforts the embassy has made to reach out to the secretariat for all this months have put futile.
That was the National Union of Ghana Students in Russia, Derek Yamwa Jesse.
In more stories, the Tamale Technical University chapter of TUTAG has called off a strike following an agreement with management of the school to pay all arrears due them and also implement the approved formula in paying their end-of-service allowance. The lecturers on Wednesday, May 10, withdrew all services over non-payment of certain allowances and the use of unapproved formula in paying end-of-service benefits of staff. The strike affected services including conducting end-of-semester examinations, marking of scripts, and other related academic work. However, after a series of meetings with management, TUTAG has rescinded its decision. According to them, management has begun paying those arrears and has agreed to use the approved formula. Here is the Vice Chairman of TUTAG Tamale Chapter, Dr. Abdul Malik Bawa, speaking with Citi News.
At the TUTAG General House meeting, where we examined the discussions we had with management on the various concerns that we raised, and then we looked at the proposals management gave us on the roadmap to resolving the matter, and we came to the agreement that we call off the strike and then see how management to follow through the implementation of the agreements we reached. We are okay because all the allowances that were not paid are being paid now. The staff lecturers are indicating that they are getting alerts from their banks for the payment of those allowances. And the other issues that have to do with the misinterpretation of the formula that was given to us in our conditions of service or the payment of end of service benefit. That too has been resolved because management have now come to agree that our interpretation of the formula is the correct way to interpret the formula.
Now, he also added that a new date has been set to conduct the last papers of the end of first semester exams, which were affected by the industrial action.
You know, the strike action happened towards the end of the first semester exams, and the exams got disrupted by the strike. And so immediately after we called off the strike, a meeting was held by the examinations board to reschedule the continuation of the exams. So we agreed at the meeting that the exams will start from 7th June and end on the 11th of June. So we are now at work. We are doing what we know how to do best.
So you heard that the Vice Chairman of the Tamale Technical University chapter of TUTAC, Dr. Abdul Malik Bawa.
Now, the Technical Universities Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, TUSAG, has suspended its intention to embark on a nationwide strike. This comes after its leadership received a letter from the Ministry of Education calling for a meeting between the parties. The union is, among other things, demanding the restoration of fuel allowance for faculty officers at technical universities, the implementation of entertainment allowance for faculty accountants at technical universities, and the appropriate placement of senior member non-teaching staff at technical universities. Speaking to Citi News, the national president of the association, Joseph Mensah Oti Esrifi, said the group would, however, strike if government does not address these concerns.
We received a letter from the Minister of Education on Wednesday evening, inviting us to a meeting on Monday, and the invitation came in as an intervention, knowing very well that he is also a party to the issues that we have raised, representing government, of course. So the National Executive Committee has decided that out of mutual respect and in the name of getting an immediate resolution to our issues, we put on hold our strike action, which was supposed to start on Wednesday, and then moving to meet the minister on Monday on our issues. So we will move to meet the minister as contained in his letter to us, in the hope that the outcome of the meeting will deal with the outstanding issues that we have raised. All that we are seeking is to get resolution to our issues. So we are hoping that the meeting will deal with the issues that we have raised. However, if government remains adamant or put up the same attitude in respect of responding to our issues, we will go ahead and declare the strike, irrespective of the decision by the commission, because we are unable to wait for any longer. So we don't want to preempt or predict what might come, but substantially we meet the minister. I think that he will be able to bring to a close this long-standing issue.
Joseph Mensah Oti Esrifi is the national president of the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still to come in the bulletin, pensioner bondholders agree on a 2-week moratorium for government to pay up outstanding coupons. We'll bring you details of the story and others. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Grateful for staying with us. We'll continue with the bulletin. In the Pensioner Bondholders Forum and Finance Ministry have agreed a 2-week period for government to settle the 4 outstanding principal payments owed to the pensioners. This was the outcome of a meeting held between the pensioners and government today. The pensioner bondholders resumed picketing at the ministry yesterday following government's failure to provide a clear pathway towards the payment of these principals, with some coupon payments also outstanding. Convener of the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anani Entry, spoke to Citi News after today's meeting.
Well, the outcome is that the coupons that are outstanding, the 5 coupons, they are going to start paying them immediately. Yeah, so today it's not possible for it to reflect in your account. So we believe by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it will have reflected. Then the principal that has been due from 20th February up to last Monday, 29th, government is going to pay that within 2 weeks. They have asked for 2 weeks to settle all the principals that are due.
How many of them?
4 of them now due. And then going forward, the principals that will be due, they will tell us how the plan of paying both the principals and the coupons that will be subsequently will coming up subsequently. The goal of contention now is our demand for interest on the delayed principal. Since it is money that we are investing and the government is keeping it, we have said we want interest. The government is pleading with us to not to drop that demand. And then we have said that the few of us who are the leadership, we want the government officials to meet the entire group. As many as the numbers who can come, we have fixed a meeting on Thursday to meet the minister and talk about the interest. What will happen there, we don't know. If we agree that we are dropping the interest, then we move forward. If we don't agree, then we see what we are going to do.
What about the suggestion that they pay everything, they pay you off, so that you don't have to come pestering them again?
Well, they are also looking at it that if they get the money, they will be able to pay pensioners off. And that is a good thing. Then you don't give me my money, let me go and do what I want to do with mine. So that is also under consideration.
You heard that the convener for the Pensioner Bondholders Forum, Dr. Edu Anani Entry. We'll go over the phone lines to speak to my colleague Charles Owuzukumi, who has been on this story all this while, to give us an update. Charles, many thanks for joining us. Now, what more has been discussed in this meeting between the Pensioner Bondholders and the Finance Ministry?
Well, Wilma, basically what's been going on between the pensioners and the ministry is just to try and find modalities and a pathway towards the settlement, especially of the outstanding principals. Government has been paying some of the coupons, and you heard Dr. Duanan say that 5 of them are what have been outstanding now since they began protesting some few weeks ago. Now, the ministry asked for a meeting that was 2 weeks ago to try and discuss the principles. So the pensioners, they suspended their picketing exercise. But yesterday, they resumed because, according to them, after efforts to try and get the ministry to come to the table and negotiate on the principles, they were unsuccessful. They didn't get the audience of the ministry, so they had to resort to picketing again. And the Deputy Minister of Finance, Abunor Asari, she met the pensioners yesterday, and she pleaded with them to suspend the picketing, and then they can go back to the negotiation table and discuss the principles especially. So that meeting is what was held this morning, And then we're told that the government has agreed to pay off the 5 coupons that are remaining from Monday. And then the principals, they've asked for 2 weeks to try and, because the principals, they are a lot of money. And government says that the ability to pay is what is holding up, what is hindering them from settling these principles. So they have asked for 2 weeks to make these payments, and they have all agreed on that. There was also the issue about the demand for interest, and because according to the pensioners, there is no free money on the capital market. So if government is holding up the money that they've invested, and they expect that government pays up some interest on that money. On government side, they are asking them to forfeit any of such forfeit the interest that they are asking for. So they have agreed for a meeting on Thursday where all the members of the pensioner bondholders will meet the finance ministry, and then they will have that discussion on whether to go ahead and demand for the interest payment or not. So that's basically what's been happening here at the finance ministry this morning.
Okay, government has asked for 2-week period. What happens if they are not able to meet up this 2-week period? Will the pensioners resume picketing again?
Yeah, so the indication about whether they are going back to picketing will depend on what happens for Monday. So for Monday, they expect that the coupons will be paid. So from Monday to Monday to Wednesday, this new round of picketing has been scheduled for Thursdays and Fridays. Initially they would do it on a daily basis, but Dr. John Anyantu tells me that they have decided to picket now from on Thursdays and Fridays because the coupons, they mature on Monday. And so they're giving government from Monday to Wednesday to try and make this payment. If that does not happen, and then they'll resort to what they know works for them, which is protesting. And so from Monday to Wednesday, if nothing happens, and then we're told that they will come back to picketing. So government knows this. And so the 2-week period, they expect government to honor its promise and then pay all the outstanding coupons and also the 4 outstanding principals that they've agreed to make payment. And then going forward, government will give them a plan on as to how they are going to make future payments on future maturities. That is the coupons and the principals.
All right. Many thanks for that update. Our City News' Charles Owusukumi giving us an update of the pensioner bondholders and the finance ministry having gone into an agreement of a 2-week period for government to settle the 4 outstanding principals owed them.
Let's turn our attention to some other stories. And the Ghana Cocoa Board is set to partner Cote d'Ivoire in harmonizing the pricing and trading policies of cocoa to help deal with smuggling of the product. Reports suggest that some cocoa farmers in Ghana have been smuggling their products to Ivory Coast for sale due to its lucrativeness in that of the country. Now, speaking to journalists at the Cote d'Ivoire Ghana Cocoa Initiative meeting, the Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahenedu, announced collaborative efforts by both countries to deal with the challenges confronting cocoa production.
Globally, when you look at the cocoa value chain, there are very strong bodies. You take the World Cocoa Foundation, for example, comprises the topmost, chocolatiers, manufacturing companies, and they've constituted a body, and these are the multinationals, and they normally influence prices of cocoa. And even though you have the International Cocoa Organization, ICCO, is also a body made up of both producers and then consumers or exporters and importers. That body cannot be handling issues for producers. So there's a need for us to get a body that will deal with issues relating specifically to farmers that are producers. And Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire producing more than 60% of global crop. We felt that there was a need for us to constitute this body. As I say, since in its formative stage, I think we are making strides. One is that when we meet at such meetings, we want to harmonize price and then trading policies and so on and so forth, the marketing policies. These are the things that we look at so that, we try and then close the smuggling gap between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire.
So you heard there the Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahin Edu. Meanwhile, the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Brian Achampong, says the move seeks to protect the interest of cocoa farmers.
I think it's a way to solidify the roles that both countries have decided to play in securing a better space for cocoa farmers in our country. We recognize the output that we give the world of cocoa, and therefore our interest is to protect the farmers that are engaged in the production and then the revenues that comes to both countries. We also want to cooperate on research to expand on the product and to be able to expand on the trade. There are a few cross-border issues that we've been dealing with on the past, smuggling, adulteration, and all the issues. Meetings like this get us to talk frankly at the ministerial level and then at the head of state level, which is always a follow-up to this, to ensure that the issues that affect both countries and the farmers within the countries are fairly and squarely resolved. So it's a good platform with the Cote d'Ivoire Ghana Cocoa Initiative that allows us to discuss all issues cocoa and the role we play in the world of cocoa.
Brian Achampong is the Minister for Food and Agriculture.
Now, the Divisional Union and Senior Management Staff Union of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation have given a one-week ultimatum to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to restore allowances withdrawn by the Commission. The withdrawal of allowances by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission has caused dissatisfaction among employees who believe their hard work is not being adequately recognized and rewarded. Under the new arrangements, some GBC staff will experience a 33% reduction in their current salaries. Speaking at a press conference, the Divisional Union Chairman of GBC, Sam Nat Kevo, called on all employees to wear red armbands and attire to work in the coming week as a sign of protest.
We wish to bring to the attention of Mr. Benata that collective agreement do not expire until new one is agreed and signed by the parties. Article 107, Section 3 says, and I quote, when no notice is given under the subsection 2 by either party within 30 days after expiration of the collective agreement, the collective agreement shall be deemed to have continued in force until rescinded by the parties, unquote. So we expect Mr. Benata to know better as the CEO of Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Thank you. Lastly, Mr. Benata, during the meeting with management, indicated that he is not ready to meet any union on the matter. This assertion indicates that Mr. Benata has found himself at the wrong office. We are intrigued by Mr. Benata's posture because the essence and main function of Fair Wages is to negotiate salaries and allowances of Ghanaian workers through their unions. Management of GBC all this while are written its responses to the claims by Mr. Benata regarding his decision to deny GBC workers of their legitimate allowances. Copies of the responses were sent to the Controller Accountant General Department, Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, and all other relevant state institutions. The Public Service Workers Union, PSW, GBC's Management Union, equally wrote to the Controller Accountant General Department to carry out Fair Wages directives. In spite of all these efforts, the CEO of Fair Wages, Mr. Ben Arthur, still went ahead and directed the Controller Accountant General Department to remove the allowances of GBC workers. We have been patient with government on the low levels of salary drawn by staff after placing GBC on the single span salary structure. We have executed and continue to execute our duties nonetheless. This is certainly not the time to rip us of what is due us. If government cannot improve our condition of work and living condition, we must not make our already deplorable situation worse off as enshrined in labor law. We wish to announce a roadmap towards a full-blown indefinite strike. Thank you. To begin with, from today, Friday, 2nd June 2023, all staff will come to work either in red attire or wear a red band for 1 week. If nothing positive in terms of restoration of the removed allowances occurs, the union will begin an indefinite strike.
Samnat Kevo is the divisional union chairman of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
In more stories, the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry says it will not take any blame if the newly constructed roads in Kumawu in the Ashanti region deteriorates. Few weeks to that crucial by-election in that constituency held on May 2023, contractors began fixing roads in major parts of the area, a move mainly described as an intention to buy the votes of the residents in favor of the NPP candidate NSCL Anim. In an interview with Citi News, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry, lamented the short period in which the roads were constructed.
If anything happens, you don't blame us for it. Because before the contractor's work will be passed for payment, then the supervisory or project manager or engineer must certify and give a certification attesting that indeed the work that the contractor has done has passed the test of time according to the specifications, dimensions, and the document. With the Kumawu road network issues that we're talking about, either how do you call it, is done overnight and what have you. Our concern is what has been handed over to the contractor to do. That is what he has done. So either it will stand the test of time or not, that one they will leave it to what the awarding agencies, because they have the money and they think that this is what they want to do. So our responsibility is to interpret what is on the document for us, as simple as that. Until anything happens that we are being ruled in, that's where we take a keen interest.
Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Construction Industry, Emmanuel Cherry.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios here in Adabraka, Accra. The news is also live on our affiliate stations across the country. Now, some stories we've been bringing you: heavy security presence at Lukula and Mempasem communities in the Savannah region following recent violent attacks there. Meanwhile, the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, he has expressed disappointment over these clashes in the region. Also, the staff of Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, they have threatened an industrial action over withdrawal of allowances by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Also, pensioner bondholders, and they have agreed on a 2-week moratorium for government to pay up their outstanding coupons. We have more stories still ahead in the bulletin. A lifeless newborn baby has been found in a box next to a dumping site close to the Tesano cluster of schools. We'll bring you details of that story and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Do you have leftover food that you don't want to throw away and are wondering what to do? Or do you have bits and pieces of ingredients that you are struggling to use to create something tasty? Or do you simply want inspiration to try something different? Well, What's Cooking is definitely the show for you. Why not watch What's Cooking to stimulate your creativity to impress your guests at the next party with a palpable taste and aroma of luxuriously delectable dishes permeating through the TV? Your culinary prowess will never be the same. What's Cooking is on every Tuesday at 6 p.m. only on Citi TV and is sponsored by Frytol, Fanice, Tasty Tom, and Indomie.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays,
ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
City TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access City TV. City TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. City TV, it's your world.
Again, comes back this year. This time,
and it's a goal
to the semi-final of the. No.
Is it? VAR.
Whistle go.
Goal disallowed. Unbelievable. From the tension in the dugout to the sweat on the field, it all comes together in the studio on Friday night.
That's Don Bote still want to play football. You are 36 years old. Forget about the age. We cannot forget about the age, though. You are 36.
Yeah, 36. You doubt 36. You know me, forget about the age. What you want to become and do.
Whether it's boxing, athletics, or football, Sports Panorama has you covered. From the prayer of the rabbi to the sound of Donkumi, the most riveting sports show on the airwaves will have you at rapt attention, entertained, and in bouts of laughter from start to finish.
No, Martinelli. No, Anfield. Wofi asina se she anfia ya benimo kotene aye 7 owo ka ye komenyo ete dwenu pa no fe ekono small handball. Yeah, you Amen.
Sports Panorama is on 97.3 City FM from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every Friday.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. We'll continue with the bulletin, but rather on a sad note, a lifeless newborn baby has been found in a box in front of a gutter at a dumping site close to the Tesano cluster of schools here in Accra. According to residents, the body of the baby was found by some pupils of the school who went to the dumping site to ease themselves. An eyewitness, Joe Smith, has been speaking to City News on the matter.
Well, earlier hours of today, one of my boys here informed us that he has faced there is a baby in a box here. So we came out in the morning, come and see. We saw that they have put some clothes cover of the baby. So we investigate and we saw that no, the baby is not crying. So maybe he's dead. Well, the information leaked. Everybody started coming here, the school children and everybody. And the teachers all they came and looked at it. So that's the baby in the box over there.
At what time did you see the message that the baby?
Get a message around no, before 10. Yeah, around 9 there. Around 9. When we get a message. They used to pass there to go and ease themselves in the gutter. So one of them who is going there got to see the baby in the box. So he alarmed us. So that's why we also calling people.
This baby is right in front of him. How does this make you feel?
It's very worried. Very worried. And he has named, the person has named the baby Linda. He wrote Linda in the box. That he has named the baby. But it's very bad. In fact, it's worrying us. It's very worried that he will bring and put the baby in front of our doorsteps like that. Yeah.
Joe Smith is an eyewitness to an incident where a baby was dumped in a gutter at Tesano. City News understands police have arrived at the scene.
In more stories, the acting president of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council, Nana Jojo Solomon, says the council is being cautiously optimistic embarking calls for the extension of the close season beyond 1 month. Fisheries and Aquaculture Minister Mavis Hawakumsin, speaking at the National Blue Economy Summit in Accra, indicated that some fishermen were asking for the 1 month close season for fishing to be extended. Speaking to City News on the matter, the acting president of the council, Nana Jojo Solomon, stated that while some fishermen are in favor of extending the close season, the council wants to use this year as an opportunity to evaluate its effectiveness before fully endorsing an extension.
I think we also want to do a precautionary approach kind of thing because, yes, this last year, after opening the season, we've seen all the games. We don't want to rush into conclusion. Like I said, some other factors are coming to augment the close season. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing. We want a confirmation of this year's, and then we can, actually stand on our feet with our chest out to say that, yes, regulators, policymakers, we want an extension. You understand? So I believe let us see what happens after this year's close season, and then I think we'll take it up from there.
So you heard there the acting president of the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council, Nana Jojo Solomon.
We'll go back to our earlier story where a lifeless newborn baby has been found in a box in front of a gutter at a dumping site close to the Tesano cluster of schools here in Accra. We'll go over the phone lines to speak to my colleague Kennedy Chumesi, who is at the scene to tell us more. Kennedy, good afternoon and thanks for joining us. What can you tell us?
Okay, so Wilma, I'm standing right in front of where the box is. The box is a paper box. Inside the box are napkins and some wrappings on a lifeless newborn baby. Now, according to residents, they do not know how the baby was brought here. But when they woke up and students and pupils from the Tesano cluster of schools came to the dumping site to ease themselves, they found the lifeless baby in the box. Now, this situation has got residents and people here frustrated, and they are all in a sad moment. As I speak to you now, the police is at the scene, and the investigators are also at the scene and trying to take information and understand the whole situation. Pupils from the Tesano cluster schools are out. Academics have been halted, and as we speak now, the police is at the scene trying to assess the situation. But the assembly member is here, and we are trying to speak to him concerning the incident. Okay, so let me just get to the assembly member and also speak to him on that. Hello, Honorable. Honorable, please, good morning. Good afternoon. This is the situation. Basically, you are the assembly member.
My thing was just gone to this incident. I was on my way to Accra, and then I decided to take a weekend to come and see. And when I came here, it's school. When I got here, a nice baby girl in the box already died. It's so I don't know how some people can be so wicked to do such a thing to this child. I hope we'll be able to trace the mother who did that, and then the law will work with it.
What information have you been taking to speculate? How did you what are better?
Oh, what I learned was the ball was here early in the morning. So some of the students who passed by saw the thing, and then they make a report about it. So I think it was brought here at dawn. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sure. So that was the assembly member I just spoke to. But basically, the data is also right behind the church here, and with the church there are some security cameras at the exact spot where the dumping site is. So we are hoping that when the police do their investigation, they could also get these footages from the security cameras to know who actually brought the lifeless body there. But as it speaks, we do not know exactly what accounted for this incident. The police are here, the investigators are also here, trying to pick up the body and see if
All right. Thank you very much for that update. Also to News's Kennedy Chumesi giving us a report from Tessa Norway, lifeless newborn baby has been found in a box that was in front of a dumping site. Kweku will give us more stories.
Now, thousands of supporters of the opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, across the country are expected to throng Hohoi in the Volta region this Sunday to commemorate the 44th anniversary of the June 4 revolution. The revolution was staged by the late former President Jerry John Rawlings. The party, which will have its national executives and the daughter of the late former President Dr. Zaneto Ajiman Rawlings at the event, is expected to reflect on the ideals of the June 4 revolution. Speaking ahead of the event, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Bandi, described the commemoration as an important occasion which will pave the way for reflection of the party's ideals.
We're converging in Hohoi. You understand that we're running two national important programs concurrently, as in not, and the June 4th. The June 4th reflects a very important moment in the life of our country, just as we find ourselves today in a very corrupt, non-performing moment where the country has almost come to its knees. And so we will converge in Hohoi to reflect on the importance of June 4th whilst we prepare ourselves as a party in waiting to take over governance in 2024, so that out of these ideals and values and principles celebrated all together, we will come into government to do that which Ghanaians require of us, to do that which is good for the people of Ghana, and to bring this country back to its shape. That is the preparation the NDC is putting in place.
Deputy General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Mustafa Bandi.
Now, Ala Foods, producers of Dano Milk, has marked World Milk Day with a market activation at La Paz and Medina markets. The company, together with its brand ambassador Benson Nanayao Odro Boateng, popularly known as Funny Face, educated traders on the benefits of milk while also distributing some of its products to them. World Milk Day was established in 2001 by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and celebrated annually on June 1 to recognize the importance of milk as a global food and to celebrate the dairy sector. Speaking to Citi's General Manager of Ala Foods Ghana, Vitotas Petronis, highlighted the significance of the day while reiterating the commitment of Ala Foods to produce fresh and quality milk for its consumers.
The way we see dairy is an important part of nutrition, on a daily, on the good nutritious diet. So having products that are healthy, that are good for you, that have various nutrients, vitamins A, B2, B12, D, calcium that is good for bones and good for brain as well, right? So it's an important. We as one of the major dairy companies provide that. So we know our products are safe and healthy and good to eat. So we try to give the chance for the broader public to try them out. But generally, I find it unique in terms of that we are farmer-owned. We're a farmer-owned dairy cooperative. So unlike most of the other companies, we control the full value chain. So we know where the products are coming from, and they're all coming from our farmer cows. They all adhere to the same standard. They have the same quality control along the way. We don't source the milk from somewhere else. It goes from different farmers or different markets or different players. it's all our milk all the way. So from the farm to the dairy, the production sites, all the way to the market here in Ghana with our own facilities and distribution. So we can vouch for the product all the way. So that's, I think, what makes it more unique than many other products. And in the end, I think it's a lot to do with the taste. So I think we see that people prefer the taste that we have, and we're of course happy about that. The World Milk Day is finishing today, 1st of June, right? But we have a couple more days to go in terms of our celebration.
Vitatis Petronies is the general manager of Ala Foods Ghana. Meanwhile, brand ambassador for Dano Milk, Benson Nanayao Odro Boateng, popularly known as Funny Face, has urged the public to continue purchasing the product.
I believe every Ghanaian should make it a point to get Dano milk. Dano milk, it's rich in calcium, protein, the vitamins A to D. And Dano milk is basically it's different. It's the quality is top notch. That's the more reason why I'm encouraging every Ghanaian to go and get Dano milk. When I sign something or when I endorse something, it is quality and it is quantity, it is swag there. Everything about anything I sign is top notch. So obviously that influenced the idea to sign for a quality company like Ala Foods Ghana and Dano Milk. Yeah. Today being a World Milk Day, I'm telling everybody out there, just go out there and get a milk, because basically, when you drink quality milk, your skin, everything, you think straight, everything is perfect, your skin looks smooth, pure nourishment. So everybody should go get it. Yeah.
Benson Nanaya Odro Boateng, popularly known as Funny Face, is brand ambassador for Dano Milk.
Let's head to the NDC's camp now, because its leadership has stated that the party will not hold a rerun of the parliamentary primaries in the Ketu North constituency. This comes on the back of a dissatisfaction expressed by a group of concerned delegates of the NDC in the constituency about the declaration of Edem Agbana as parliamentary candidate, despite concerns about the results of the election. The NDC primaries held on May 13 resulted in a tie of votes between candidates John Adanuzeu and Edem Agbana, with both candidates receiving or garnering 358 votes after 2 recounts and a discovery of some unstamped ballots. Speaking to City News, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Bandi, said the party will resolve all concerns in the constituency.
National chairman of the party was visited. The parties were there with their lawyers, and then we delivered a conclusive, remark on the matter. And Edem Agbana was declared as the legitimately elected candidate for Ketu North. So any other issue would be looked at the level of reconciliation, and do not have what it takes to rerun the election. We are not even aware of any petition to that sort, and no such matter has come to our office. And the party do not have any. We've moved on. We're now preparing the parliamentary candidate to become MP.
Also addressing issues with the impending by-election in Asin North, Mustafa Bandi also stressed that the NDC will not accept any attempt by the NPP to engage in vote buying before and during the by-elections.
So the NDC is only worried about their plan to monetize the election and to do what is vote buying. That is why we say that as part of our discussions with the Ghana Police Service, we will raise the issue of vote buying as one critical component of the election, and that the NDC will do all it takes to confront the issue of vote buying head on. And that is a crime, and will not allow them repeat like they did in Kumawu as far as Asin North is concerned.
Mustafa Bandi is the National Deputy General Secretary of the NDC.
Well, that's all time would allow us for on this week's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Wilma Ububisa Coleman, and I did this with
Kweku Ediamansa.
Up next is the afternoon's edition of the City Business News. Do stay tuned, and many thanks for doing the listening.
City 97.3.